and I'm very passionate about investment, or I would say specifically it's a technical trading, um, and I've been doing it since long time. I started my investment career, and when I say, I would say when I started my job in the age of 25, I started my journey at that time investing into two different companies. One is Tata Elxsi and one LCC Infotech. And I lost 90% money in LCC Infotech. And I held Tata Elxsi for almost 10 years. I bought it 100 rupees and sold it 1200 rupees. So I think that's what the discussion is all about. Hey, how do you want to make money through stock market? Either you want to become a long-term investor, or you want to become a trader with investing and getting small gain. So this is a little bit about myself. Okay, disclaimer, I'm not a financial or technical expert, guys. Okay, I think most of you guys know me for quite some time, but by no means I'm an expert, and I'm not giving any investment advice. The whole session is for only education purpose and no cost to you. I just want to make sure that this is clear. Okay. Um, okay, this is my favorite quote, and I always keep telling people same thing, that a monkey can buy and sell stocks, right? So a lot of people comes to me and ask me, hey, I want to start investing into stock market, right? And the first thing I would tell them that don't invest immediately. Don't start putting your money immediately in the stock market, because you need to learn first, right? Um, as I said, monkey can buy and sell stock. It's very easy for anyone to log into your brokerage firm, and you start buying and selling the stocks, but that's not the right thing to do, right? So the goal is to become I would say a well-informed investor or trader. um, it really doesn't matter whether are you an investor or a trader, but if you don't know much about stock market, either it's a fundamental or technical, then you are doing is nothing but the gambling. Again, this is just my thought. I cannot invest into stock market without looking at the fundamental of a company and the how company is doing, as well as at the same time how the technicals are, right? So couple of things I say, our group continue discussing about investor versus trader, right? So I would say it's a perfect handshake between technical analysis and fundamental analysis, right? Fundamental analysis, I would say, is pretty, I would say it's not that difficult. It's a little easier for us to understand. If I say, hey, Apple, everyone knows Apple and how Apple does. Like some other companies like Chipotle or McDonald's, right? People know it's a well established brand in the market. However, at the same time, if I want to learn about technical analysis, which is nothing but the analyzing the stock charts, right? It's a little difficult, but it's not complex. I would say with spending a little bit amount of time, anyone can learn the technical analysis and the stock charting. It's pretty simple. So I would say it's a perfect handshake of technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Either you are an investor or a trader, is going to help you. It'll help you in making an informed judgment, right? This is what I'm going to cover actually. I have 12 different topics to discuss. Um, Almost, I would say I came up with this topic, this topics looking at our group strength, because I know our group, what capabilities we have. So if I look at folks like Bose and Suresh, they are very much into technical analysis. When I look at Maulik and Prashant, they are all fundamental guys, strong fundamental guys, right? So we have pretty much diverse group of people, and I try to cover the topics which everyone can easily understand without going too much into technicality of the indicators or a charting, right? So I want to make sure that everyone can comfortably understand all the topics. I highlighted one, number 8 as a goal setup. So I would highly encourage everyone to stay until at least I come to the goal setup, because I found a niche with my trading or investing, that I can buy and sell looking at the chart. So the whole goal of doing technical analysis or charting is to have better entry and exit. I hope everyone will agree with that. And that's what I'm going to cover in number 8, that hey, I found something which gives me clear indication that this is time to enter into the trade and exit the trade. So I would encourage everyone to please stay until at least 8, so everyone can take benefit of it, right? So some of the topics like candlestick, support and resistance, moving averages, MACD, volume and float, VWAP, RSI. These are all technical indicators that I use in my charting. And I'm sure most of you guys are kind of high level aware of it. When I say, hey, I'm using 200 SMA in my chart or VWAP in my chart, big people continuously hearing about those, but I'm going to a little bit cover about, hey, how these technical indicators are drawn into the chart, right? So everyone can look at how the charts are being formed. Okay, moving to the next one. So I would say charting is an art. Okay, guys, it's not a rocket science. When I say art, means when you look at the beautiful picture, you can clearly articulate what picture is telling you, right? The same concept I'm telling you, everyone, that chart, looking at the chart should tell you that my stock, if you'll say like Apple is my favorite stock, I say, hey, Apple is in clear uptrend or clear downtrend. A chart should tell you that. But when I say keep it simple and clean, because a lot of people I have seen when they do charting, they use a lot of technical indicators in their chart. And if you're looking at this chart, there are so many technical indicators are in here, like MACD, stochastic, RSI, CCI, Chaikin oscillator, Ichimoku, Bollinger Band, moving averages, a lot of stuff. I would say make it such a simple, your chart, that you can easily interpret that the trend is changing now. I can enter into the trend, or I can go out of the trend, right? Because if you look at this chart, how do you follow that? Hey, my RSI is curling, my CCI is moving up, my MACD is doing divergence right now. It's tough. It's tough for someone to look at the chart and interpret something that, hey, where my stock is going in the direction. So I would say keep it simple and clean. That is so easy to read your chart and make any informed judgment. Okay, so before I go into any technical indicators, I want to cover that there are quite few technical charting platforms are available, and I think all are free of cost.
Any quick suggestion? People are asking to make it a presentation mode. So
okay.
Presentation mode.
Okay, let me try. Okay, how about this now?
Yep, better.
All right. So charting platform, right? So there are quite few charting platforms are available. The more frequently I use is Thinkorswim. I'm a big fan of Thinkorswim platform. And then we have a TradingView, which is again a free, but has a lot of limitations. You cannot put many technical indicators. I think more than 2 or 3. But this is a very good platform to leverage for charting. Then is one more. I think investing.com came up with the feature, and I think it's just pretty neat, and I would say it's pretty good for live charts also during the live market if you want to use. Right. So any question about charting platform, guys? Okay. All right. Let me move into the next topic then. So my first topic is chart styles, right? So when you start drawing your charts, so first thing you see is the price movement. But how the price movement is drawn into the chart is by six different types. One is candlestick, Heikin Ashi, line, area, bar, and Renko. I think Renko I recently introduced to me by someone, but I didn't check it. The mostly I use is candlesticks and Heikin Ashi. If I want to look at the chart for, let's say, 1 year chart or 6 months chart, I use candlestick. But if I want to look at the chart for intraday, then I use Heikin Ashi. I'll quickly cover how each chart looks like. So candlesticks, this is a candlesticks chart where you can see the price. This is nothing but the price movement at a specific time. You see the all green and red candle is called candlesticks. And the red means is the stock is in downtrend. The green is in stock is in uptrend. Basically, there is more buying on the green candle and more selling on the red candle. Heiken Ashi is almost similar to candlesticks, but this is highly used for the day trading. Day traders use Heiken Ashi because it clearly gives a smooth transition from red to green, which you can see in the chart, and I will cover later on too. Line chart, it's a simple, but you can't pretty much understand what is going on when you look at the line chart. There is area chart, bars, and Renko, right? So let me quickly go to the charting platform, because quite few folks ask me, Sunil, if you can do some live charting also. So I opened this live chart investing.com platform, and I look at let's look at Apple, right? So as soon as you enter the symbol of any stock, it will give you the charts basically, and how the price movement is throughout. And I kept it as a 5-minute chart here, 1 day 5-minute chart, so you can see all the candles. And if I want to change something this to a different candles, so this is the candles. Then you can see Heiken Ashi is here. Then line chart, I think this is what I covered into my presentation. Then area chart, so this is how you can change your charting style from candlestick to Renko to Heiken Ashi, right? This is pretty simple. And you can change, say, 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart or 1 hour, 1 day, and you can change from 1 year to 1 month chart. You can see that. So it's nothing but a different time frame. You can look at the chart. Any question here, guys? And the further I go into the presentation, I will continue building the chart here also, so everyone can see how I'm plotting the chart. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cover a little bit about the candlesticks. So you saw 2 different types of candlesticks. One is green and one is red. So if you could clearly see that every candlestick has open, close, high, and low. What does it mean? That if I look at this open, say open means the stock, let's say Apple yesterday closed at 240. Today it opened at 250. So that's your open price. After opening, whether it went up or went down, so that's your low price, and this is called wick. And this is a high price. And let's say if I'm looking at the 1-day chart, what is the close price of the Apple on that day? So let's say it opened at 245 and closed at 250. So that represents the close. While if you look at the red candle kind of open high, close at lower bottom. So green candle calls a bullish candle, and a red candle calls a bearish candle. There are different types of candles you can see in your chart, right? And they have a very unique names also. It's called Marabozu. There is a complete filled green red candles. Something called resembles like spinning top. So that's why it's called spinning top candles. It has 2 wicks on both the end with green and red filled. A doji, where it has only black color. What does it mean? That there is a fight between bearish and bullish, right? So that's why it ended up without any decision, basically. So when you say ended green, any candle means the buyers has a more power. When it closed with the red, that means sellers are on in power. But when you look at the doji means indecision, right? Same thing, something called gravestone doji, hammer, inverted hammer, dragonfly doji. So these are the different kinds of candle you can see forming in your chart, depending upon the volume at a specific time, right? And how the open and close happen. Right? Any question here?
Yeah. So the bigger the box, the green box or red box I'm talking about, it tells one thing is, okay, what is my open price and what is my closing price. But how do I know that the box is becoming, the volume is more? That also can I conclude?
So when you look at the candle, right? What candle represents is nothing but the volume and price, right?
But let me give you more examples. Price is from $10 to $20 it went, but volume can be less, right? And again, let's take other example where the variation is bigger, but the volume also is very bigger. How do I know this candle is based on a price or based on the volume or both?
Candle, any size of the candle is depend upon the price as well as the number of shares bought at that time, right? So if I go back to the chart here, sorry, where is my, it's not coming up. What happened? Sorry guys, let me just see what's going on. I'm not able to share my browser.
You have to exit from the presentation mode and then you can share it. Yeah, now.
Okay, I'm out of presentation mode. Still not able to.
Do you have two monitors, Sunny?
Yes. So, all right. So when you look at the chart, I don't know who was asking your question, but when you look at the chart, it represents one, let's talk about this green candle, right? And at the bottom, you see the volume. So depending upon the volume, your price movement happens, right? So I see it's around 103,000 volume for this specific one candle, right? And it shows as a green candle means that there is a more buying power, basically more buyers than sellers, right? This is not the true representation of buying and selling, because you need to do some extra coding with those. So you can see one candle or a bar showing the, let's say, 75% of green color and 25% of red color. So you can see that there are more buyers for that specific period, right? So depending upon the volume, you can see the size of the candle, right?
Yeah.
And the price movement happens basically. There is one different concept also, which is called float, which I will cover. But again, float also matters on at this location when the price movement happens. I will cover later on what is float means and how it impacts the price actually. Okay.
Thanks, Sunny.
Okay. All right, so these are a few candle types that you can see in your chart when you start putting the chart together for any specific stock. Okay, so this is kind of a candlestick cheat sheet actually. So why do we do charting, guys? Let me cover that before I jump into this one. So when we do charting, we want to understand the movement of a stock, right? Either the stock is going up or stock is going down. So by looking at that, we can make an informed judgment that I want to buy the stock or sell the stock, right? So candlestick is one indicator which gives you the proper direction, right? But when you are doing charting, only one indicator is not enough. You need something more than one indicator to decide your buy or sell, right? So this candlestick for formation. So, and if you look at any chart, actually, it gives you the formation of candlestick, and based on the formation of a candlestick, you can decide whether I want to stay in a trend or not. So you can see on the left hand side, these are all bullish candlestick patterns. On the right hand side, this is all bearish candlestick pattern. Basically, it tells me that if this pattern forms in my chart, that means the stock is going to go up. So these are all bullish candlestick patterns. Let me go back to the chart. Again, okay. So if you look at the chart, you will see different kind of candlestick patterns, right? So you can see that I mentioned about doji, right? So if you look at this, these are all dojis are creating. Basically, this is all indecisive. So the market doesn't know if it is going in up direction or a down direction. So when you look at the live chart at this moment, if it is creating a doji, you may not know if the stock price is going up or down. However, when you see that this three like kind of a more red candles, that means the stock is going down. You can kind of predict that now the market is in a downtrend. I want to get out of the trade. Basically, look at the volume. Its stock price was 235 here, and when you started seeing the more bigger red candles, the stock started going down. So it started around here at 235 almost, and it went until 167. It's a huge downtrend, right? It's a huge price movement. So when you see this kind of a pattern happening in your stock chart, you need to start thinking about, hey, is this the right time to get out of the stock? However, candlesticks sometimes don't give you the exact direction or direction of a stock market. So that's why I said that we need more than candlestick to determine the uptrend or downtrend, right? So these are the three different types of candlestick pattern it creates. One is bullish, second is neutral, and third is bearish, right? And I'm telling you guys, I observe the candlestick lot actually in my either is a day trading, or if I'm a long-term investment in a specific stock, I would like to see how the candlesticks are forming in my chart to decide whether I want to go long or I want to go short. Okay. Any question here on candlestick?
Yeah, one question, Sunny. This is
Yeah.
Rajesh. Just now you have shown the candlestick red, it is going down, but immediately in the diagram only, again it is in green, it is going up. Maybe that is a particular 1 hour or a 1 day, right? Similarly, why can't I see a candlesticks for 30 days? That will clearly give us whether it is going in upward or downward, right? So using candlestick, why can't I decide that the stock is in uptrend or downtrend in that month? Why I need other parameters? My point is I will not use any other parameters. I use only your candlesticks. Can it help me in decide this one month?
Okay, so let's look at the 1 month chart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my 1 month chart. Maximize. These are very small candlesticks. Let me change it to Apple. I don't want to use QQQ. Right? Okay. So tell me now, if you're looking at looking at this chart, right? Looking at this chart for Apple. Looking at this candle here, will you tell me that the stock will go up or go down?
Yeah, at that position, no, but I look at the entire month, then I'll say that it is an uptrend.
That's correct, right? So that's what exactly where I say that we need something else, not just only candlestick. Right now, I can clearly see that the trend. Let's say if I just draw a trend of a stock, right? So look at the trend. Where is it going? It's going up, coming down, going up, coming down. It touched here the trend line, then went up and then went up, right? So you can think, say, yes, the stock may go up from here, right? So let's say if I'm drawing this and I want to limit my high here, right? So you can say that, yes, this stock, Apple stock, are currently in upward movement and is following this channel, right?
Yeah.
I know I jumped into a different topic, which is in my 11th or 12th session, I would say, but that's fine, right? So you can clearly see if I draw one more line, let's say I want to draw one more line in the middle here somewhere, right? So you can see that this how the stock is forming. If I also look at the middle line, how the stock is nicely bouncing from here. You can see that, right? And then it broke, but it came down here, then went up, and then again following that middle line, right? So this is how I do charting. If I want to look at the trend, now you can say, you know what? Now I see the volume. Say yes, I have a lot of green volume here. I have quite a few green candles here. It's not showing down, but it's again showing me uptrend from here, right? Look at, right? If I just
Yeah.
draw a simple line, it's going up, seems like it's going to touch here. So if you guys know that I've been giving levels in a group, right? And say, hey, now it is waiting for this level to touch. So I would say, let's say Apple currently closed at 383 example, right? And now if I just go top here, say 385.94, if I draw this, if this continues here. So I would say, hey guys, there is a 386 is a resistance level, right? And let's wait for that resistance to break. So when I say resistance to break, means from here, it will go up here again, because if I look at this following the trend here, it should go break and go up here. And it might try to touch around, let's say 388.41, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I said not only candlestick, this is something called trend lines. Trend lines is also one kind of an indicator in your chart that you need to, everyone needs to learn and understand. And I draw that trend line in front of you within a few seconds. It's how that easy actually. We can pick up any stock and say, hey, let's look at how the candlestick is and how do I draw my trend line. It's that easy, right?
Yeah.
Did I answer the question? Answer the question?
Yeah. Thanks, Sunny.
Right. Perfect.
Hey, Sunny, just a follow-up question to that. So, I mean, I think you've already answered part of my question, because the basically charting is the historical data, right?
Exactly.
So
Charting
let's
is
say,
all about historical data. Yes.
yeah. So you are looking at the 30 days Apple chart. And I think the second indicator you mentioned was the trend line. So basically, based on the trend line only, I would know whether to enter or exit. Is that right?
It's not the only thing. It's not the only thing.
I
Yes.
mean, when I say the trend line and the candlestick,
Yes,
not
correct.
just the.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And a quick question. So to draw a trend line, like what is the average period that we need to look at? Is it 30 days or like what is that number?
So if I'm looking at the trend right now, I kind of picked a 1 year chart, right? Or yeah, I think it's probably a 1 year, 1 day chart I picked up, right? So yes, it depends upon how long you want to go. It may possible that you might be seeing uptrend in the 1 year chart. However, if you go back to 30 days chart might be showing you the stock is going down too.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Just to add, it's based on the time frame. If you are looking at what's your time frame, yes, as Sunny mentioned, it can be showing short-term downtrend and long-term uptrend. So in the same channel, if that current candle is going to break or going to come down, it is going to bounce. We are expecting that it is going to bounce at the lower line in the channel. So until then, might be in the downtrend, and again once we see some price action bouncing off that low line in the channel, and then we will see it's like in uptrend again. I mean, and also as Sunny mentioned, it's based on your time frame. Are you trading in 1 minute chart or 1 hour chart? I mean, it depends on the time frame also.
So maybe for example, if I say that, okay, I want to enter now, right? And probably I want to hold it for 2 days or 3 days. So do I look at 30-day chart or like do I look at 1 year chart?
You need to look at this. Okay, this is what I suggest. How will you do? Look at the current day. I would say, or yesterday's trend first. What was the trend yesterday? Then expand that into further into 20 days. This is what I do actually. All right. Hey, how did Apple was on last Friday? What is the trend for last 20 days? Then I go for 1 year. That's how I draw my charting. 20 days chart plays a very bigger role actually when you look at want to enter into short term for, let's say I want to enter only for a week. Let's look at that last 20 days pattern. That will give you the really good direction and you can decide whether you want to go into the trade or not. Then again, I would like to see for 1 year chart too, say, hey, how is my overall trend? Should I enter right now or should I not? Right?
And maybe another silly question, Sunny. For example, if you take Tesla or Amazon, I think looking at 30 days or 1 year may not make sense, right?
So let's look at Tesla, right? Tesla 1 year chart. Look at this. This is parabolic movement, I would say.
Right.
This is complete parabolic movement. Tomorrow, I may not know what will happen tomorrow looking at this chart. Because whatever form here, this one, this completely is parabolic. I would like to see the clear uptrend, little downtrend, then going uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, little consolidation here, then uptrend. And when I look at this, I get scared actually easily.
Yeah, Sunny, one question, Rajesh
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
As we know that for anybody to buy, they should be a seller, right? So if everybody is buying a Tesla, as per the chart, it is showing green, but equal number of sellers are also there, right?
Yes,
so why
you're right.
your chart is misleading me that, okay, it is going up, it is in green. If I sell 5 shares, means 5 shares are sold by somebody else, right?
I would say a stock like Tesla, or it's okay. There are two kinds of buyers and sellers, right? Let's say I want to sell Tesla at 14, 15, 50 right now. I cannot because the price is not there, right? But if I want to sell at the market price, if there is no seller available, then there is one entity called market maker. Okay, so market maker will give you the stock actually. Have you guys heard about market maker? Bose, Suresh?
Sunny, one thing I want to add, somebody previously asked saying that, hey, all it is green, right? The green and red are basically dependent on the previous day's closing. If today's closing is more than yesterday's closing, it will be green, else it will be red. It is, in a way, it is not purely about the amount of volume, it's mostly about price. That is the coloring of the green and red.
Right, but this, and when you look at the green and red, this green doesn't represent it's a true buy volume or a sell volume. Yes, I would say that there is a more buy volume than a sell volume on this candle. Thinkorswim chart, you can clearly code your volume bar based on a number of shares bought or sold. You can see that, and you can draw this. That I think I told you that it may show 75% as a green bar and 25% as a red bar. You can see that in Thinkorswim actually, if you really want to do that. And again, yes,
Sunny,
yeah. Go ahead, Suresh.
somebody mentioned that we'll limit the number of questions. So we got to
Okay.
get you back onto the track also, please.
Okay, sure. So I think, but it's pretty simple concept. It's all about demand and supply, guys. When the demand is more, that means people are buying more and selling less. And when there is less sellers, market makers will give you your shares.
Sunny, Bose here. Just a quick thing. So if you take in this Tesla chart, if you take the last 10 or 8 bars, all the green bars, if we draw a parabolic trend line there, okay, even if people wants to trade that last 10 bars, so they need to respect something. I mean, guys, you can still enter anything, even if it is parabolic. Psychologically, we feel like, I mean, it's already dragged too much up. But see, if you want to trade that, you can enter and respect the trend line. If it breaks, you need to get out. Okay, so it can still go up, but you need to draw particular trend lines and respect it.
Yes,
so
you can.
Just wanted to add that perspective on that.
For example, right? How do we know that where it's going to break here, right? Because when it's a parabolic, right?
No, there is a trend line there. He just drew that, right? So if it comes out of that trend line, if it breaks, if it closes below the trend line in any time frame, you see that. You need to get out.
So yeah, so exactly, if you look at, there is a parabolic movement here also, right? If I just draw this simple line here. This is again, this is huge, and this is again not a good right representation, I would say. This was going in this direction actually. Probably this is the better way of representing this, right? right? And then suddenly, bam, it broke and it completely went above. And it's the similar parabolic we had here also, right? And then you can see a big, I would say, spinning top here. This is spinning top. It clearly tells us that, hey, the trend is broken now. Again, it bounced back, but look at the downtrend from there. So 938 to what? 350. Again, this is again a March trend, which is not usual. You can see, right? But again, if I see this, let's see how it goes next day, tomorrow, or probably Monday or next week, right? This is going to end soon, I would say. This is not going continuously, probably for until. Bose was chatting with me the other day, and I told him that I see that Tesla might be touching 1800 and coming back down, because that will go into a tremendous overbought condition. So I will cover in more about RSI also, that when you look combine your chart candlestick with the RSI and volume, you can say, you know what, now it's time to get out of the trade. So let me go back to the presentation, right? All right. So quickly cover that. How will you look at the trend is changing when you see a specific type of candle happening? But again, it's not the two representation. So I would say that stock is in downtrend. You see doji, and next day green candle basically is telling you that the trend is now reversing, right? But if you look at here, we already had a doji here also, but next day it created a inverted hammer, and stock went down. So when you look at the green spinning top and a doji and then a big green candle, basically the trend is reversing. You can clearly see that, right? So this is a bullish reversal pattern, only looking at the candlestick. And this is a bearish reversal when the stock was in uptrend, and then you saw the doji, and the next day you see the red candle, and bam, it starts stock going down. And again you see the doji and the green candle, red candle, and the inverted hammer, and started going up. So somewhat you can predict, looking at the chart, that yes, the stock might go down. But if, let's say, today is this day when it doji created, you need to wait for next day how the candle is going to form. Without that, you may not know that stock is going up from here or is going down from here, right? So this is bearish reversal with doji. There is something called three white soldier. When you see three big green candles, then the stock is going above, right? So look at how the candles are being formed when you are looking at the chart. Looking at that candles, you can clearly articulate that yes, the stock will go up. This is what exactly I mentioned here. That when you look at it after uptrend, you see big three green candles, lot of large red volume bars, and start going down. Okay.
So, Sunny, so do you wait for like two candles for confirmation before you enter any trade?
I will wait at least one or two candles before I decide to sell the stock or stay in the stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you take pre-market trends also into the picture, Sunny, or only when the market opens?
You have to look at the pre-market trend also. When you look at the candlestick, yes, I would definitely recommend everyone to look at the pre-market, because pre-market also determines the trend for the whole day, right? Tesla, I think Tesla other day went up $50-$60 in pre-market only. Okay. Bearish. This is called pattern called bearish three black crows. When you see three red candles, I think that is what exactly I showed you here. That three red candles, and immediately you see the next day the very big red candle, right, on a Tesla chart in month of February. And then there was a little bounce, but still stock went down, because it's a confirmation that now the trend is reversing. The more sellers are in control. Right?
Can you go back to the same previous chart?
Yeah.
So see, I mean, it came back up with the green candles, but it touched the trend line and broke below. So yeah, I mean, you removed the trend line actually. So I just wanted to show you that. So it came down and it gave a false signal that it is going to come up, but then it touched the trend line and break below. So
Yeah. Again, if you, it's difficult to. I would say in my stocking career, I see that Tesla is a tough stock to follow as a when I say when it's technical perspective is tough. Even during the live market, it's tough to see where the stock is going. Even if you have so much knowledge about good indicators which are showing you the trend is going up or down, but Tesla is tough. Tesla is tough to predict the price level for next hour or next day. Is tough. Yeah, whenever there is a high heavy selling volume, there will be some reversal, right? It's not that it can continue going down forever, but again after 3 days of consolidation, bam, it came down from what price? This is 742 to 349, like 50% cut completely in stock price. Again, this is March. You won't see March very frequently, right? What we saw in March 2020. Okay, all right. Heiken Ashi. So far we discussed about the candlesticks, and there is a different style of candles called Heiken Ashi. Heiken Ashi is mainly we can mainly use for looking at the smooth transition of from buying to selling, right? So if you can see here how nicely the charts, nicely the candlesticks are formed, and then suddenly you see, hey, now it's going down as a green. So, and you can see the trend is reversing. You can see I'm showing this right now as after the fact, but if you look at the live market comparison of the forming of candlestick chart and Heiken Ashi chart, looking at the Heiken Ashi, you can clearly see the smooth transition from green to red or red to green during live market. I would everyone to encourage, if you are looking at the live market, open 2 different windows. If it is Thinkorswim platform or E-Trade or anything else, anything, open 2 different windows, one with candlestick and one with Heiken Ashi. The whole calculation happens completely different actually as compared to normal candlestick. But Heiken Ashi is also candlestick, but they call a better candlestick. Okay, and you can clearly see the trend is changing. So let me go to here, right? Going back to Apple 1-day chart. And I think I'm sharing Heiken Ashi only right now. Yeah, I'm sharing Heiken Ashi, right? So if I change this to candlestick, candles, you can, let's look at here actually. Let me leave this. Let's look at this only from here, 1824 till 19, right? If you look at the candlestick, you can see 2 green candles, 2 red candles, 2 green, red, and look at the trend here. You can see the clear uptrend, right? But when you are looking at the live market and when you see this candle closed, this candle started forming with Heiken Ashi, you can see the clear smooth transition. See this? Very, very good green transition completely. And there was not much noise. So that's why I use Heiken Ashi candles for my, if I want to do day trading. Let's say if I open a 3-minute chart, 1-day 3-minute chart, then I definitely use Heiken Ashi as compared to candlesticks because of the smooth transition from green to red and red to green. And there is not much noise too, because when I say noise, look at, there is a space here, space here, space here, everywhere you see the spaces, right? You don't know when this candle finishes, you don't know when the next candle is going to open. But when you look at the Heiken Ashi, it's all connected. And if you look at one thing, I would just want to show you for observation perspective. When stock is in the uptrend, the green candle, the next candle opens at the half of the green candle here. and it starts showing it's going up, all half at half of the candles. You see this, right? The formation starts from here. This candle ended here, but so the formation starts from here and going up. When you look at the red ones, same thing, half going down, half going down, half going down. So I'm talking about the live transition. This is after the fact, so you might not be able to see how it is forming. But when you look at the live chart, live market, you can see that green formation, continuous green formation until it reverses the trend. Okay. So I would highly recommend to anyone is doing the day trading should use Heiken Ashi candlesticks.
It won't basically stop you out on small red candles. So
Correct.
it will keep you in the trade, removing that noise what Sunny is talking about. Exactly,
right? Because if you see here, see how many. Let's look at this one. This is uptrend, but you see how many red candles in the middle. While here, when it goes up here, you won't see many red candles happening. And again, you have to see actual chart forming during the live market only. Then you will realize what I'm talking about, the smooth transition from green to red and red to green.
Yeah. So how do we know how many candles, how many red candles do we need to wait? Is it like one or like, alternative red candles we need to?
Okay, let's look at this actually, right? So when you are seeing the market is forming the green candles, continuous green candle, right? Right. Look at the candle size. Suddenly you will see this big red candle. What does it tell you? It tells you that, hey, now the sellers are in control, right?
Right.
You will see the formation of bigger candles. While if you see here, it's all indecisive, right? It's not, even if you combine this with the volume also, you will see the lower volume. So if you go back to the charts here, right? You can see here the bigger volume bars. But if you see here, it's the smaller ones, right? The bigger ones, bigger volume bar. You can clearly see that, yes, my volume is kind of going down from here, right? And now when the volume started going down, the stock is also started going down actually. And the volume comes up again and the stock trend is going up. So again, I would say your candlestick and volume plays a bigger role deciding into stay in the trend or get out of the trend, right? Along with your trend lines, if you like to draw the trend line, right? Okay, so I wanted to show the comparison between the Heiken Ashi and candlestick, how the difference is. You can clearly see here, like all from here to here is all red, but if you see here, it's a big gap here because there was a gap down happened on that day, but Heiken Ashi won't show you that gap down, and it shows you as a red only. And see here dodgy and green candle, again the green candle, again green candle. However, here you can see the clear transition, right? Okay, so this is the completion of the candlestick topic. And I think I showed you guys too that how can you change your chart from candlestick to Heiken Ashi or Heiken Ashi to candlestick, right? So any question we can cover for 2 minutes, then I can jump into the next topic.
So just a quick check, Sunny. Is switching over from candlestick to Heiken Ashi similarly easier on Thinkorswim as well, or is it?
Yes, it's very easy. It's the way you saw here. I changed from candlestick, like if I say holo candles or a baseline, is that simple. Because this is all historical data, right? Even if I pick a different tracking platform, right? Here, this is called stockcharts.com. Here also you can change to line, But this doesn't have Heiken-Ashi. It has Renko. This is also one free stocking platform, actually, charting platform.
Sunny, this is Suresh. I'd like to add a comment for the group. So guys, I'm like maybe worse than most of you. I've never paid much attention to charting and all, but Sunny introduced me to this Heiken-Ashi about a week or two ago when we were talking about Bollinger Bands, and it is just amazing. I would say for now, if you are already using candles, switch to Heiken-Ashi.
Yeah.
It makes your life so much easier during the day. It's just unbelievable, because right now we are looking at hindsight. Everything is neatly laid out. It's very easy to make determination. But when you're live trading, you don't know what the heck's going to happen next week. You're not next moment. You have no idea. And that's where getting a clear signal from Heiken-Ashi, you can see that, hey, it was all red, red, red. Now you got one green, another green, third green, and you can say, okay, I can consider going long. It is so clear and so easy. It's unbelievable. So take his word for a week and then come back and become a fan of it. Yeah.
I'm wondering why I did not even think about this, because I tried following the candlestick. I think Sunny or both once they had walked me through, but when during the minute and 5 minute and 1 hour chart, because of all of those gaps, it's always confusing, right? So
that's correct.
Exactly, and that's what Heiken-Ashi takes away. It gives you a very clear signal. You're confident in what you do, and most of the time it works.
Okay, right. So I'm jumping into the next topic, which is again a very simple topic to understand, but very powerful. And I think you guys all have witnessed in the group that when Bose or I mentioned about the SPY charts. And I think a lot of people vouch for us that, hey, yes, we came up with a very, very precise support or resistance levels for SPY or QQQ, right? So what is support and resistance level? So it's very simple concept to understand. A support level, that means the stock bounced from a specific price point. Let's say Apple is trading around 245 right now, and it came down to 240 and bounced from 240 went to 250. So 240 is your support level, right? So it's based on, it's kind of called a history price from where the stock started upward movement. Same thing, resistance level, the stock or Apple at 250, it went to 253, and from 253 it came down to 247. So 253 become your resistance levels, right? Again, it's when I said that stock charting is an art. So it's all about how you look at the support and resistance level. So let me jump into this chart right now, right? So this is, I picked up a Facebook chart for last week actually, right? And I draw the support and resistance line. So if you look at here, the stock jumped from here, came down, and again jumped from here. So I determined that 241 and 47 is my support level, right? So stock jump from here. Next time if price come to here, then I can think about, hey, you know what, it's time to if let's say the trend is reversed from here, right? The one big red candle and then green candle, and it jumped from here and the stock went above this candle. So I can say, you know what, I think it perfectly jumps from the support level. Let me enter into the trend from this candle. And you can go from here like around 242 and stay in the trend until 245, where it created your hammer here. And then bam, again, you see the big red candle, right? So support level is when the stock price is bouncing. And this is the resistance level. I didn't draw here, but 240, around 244, 49 something here, the stock started going down. And again, it jumped from this support line of 239.76. It came down and again jumped. So I think Bose and I shared many times about the SPY and QQQ chart support level and resistance levels. again is how it's looking at the previous history of bounces, right? Upward bounce or downward movement, right? So if you look at here, the stock is consolidating really well, and it's kind of, if I draw a line here, yes, it's not breaching this line much actually, which is 241.47. And then stock came down thrice, one time, second time, third time, and fourth time it broke this resistance. So sometimes we mentioned that let's wait for this resistance to break 240-265 before we enter into the trade, right? So as soon as this resistance broke, it opened the next candle above that close, and that gives you the confirmation that, you know what, now the stock is going to in a upward direction from here. The resistance is broken now, and from here I would say 243 till 245. So it's almost $2 gap you had before you decide to sell your stocks. Again, this is this is a 5-minute chart, right? And if you decide to, hey, I want to do day trade, where do I enter? So you can think about, hey, I want to enter here because it is showing me really bounces from here many times, right? And it broke the resistance, and bam, it went up almost $3 or $4 from this support level. It's a perfect trade. If you are, let's say if you bought a minimum 100 share, you can get out with like $400 within 1 hour, right? This is 5-minute chart. So if you entered here, let's say 243, sold at 245, probably this is around 15-20 minute gap. So 15-20 minute with $100 shares, you can get around $200 to $300, right? So when you look at how do I draw the support and resistance, this is how you draw it, right? This is again a SPY chart for 1 week, 1 year chart actually, right? And many times we shared, hey, let's wait for this support level to get in, or this resistance to break, right? So this is how you draw that. Every price movement it jump, that becomes your support level. Every price movement it break down, it's your resistance level. Any question, guys, here? I think it's a pretty simple concept, very simple concept. But again, as I said, it's an art. Charting is an art. It's how you look at the chart for support and resistance levels. There is no science or math here.
So Sunny, based on what you just mentioned, so the next resistance for SPY is 319, and if it breaks, the possibility of it going up to 337 is high.
Exactly. That's what exactly you read in the chart, and that's what I also read in the chart, that I should wait for 319 break before I jump in, so it can go to 337.66, because that's the next big resistance levels, right?
Yep. Perfect.
So look at the Monday market and wait for this break 319, 332. I don't know what is the close actually. Probably 317.59 is a close for last Friday, right? And if you are holding something, and let's wait for 319 break. If not, it will not break. Then it will coming back to 296 again. Or if you do some micro level charting, you can draw one line here also at this green candle, right?
Yep.
Hey, Sunny, a quick question here, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. So in terms of, so let's say you decided on the support and resistance, and now you want to place some orders. Now, if you're watching it live, it's easy for you to go and place your order. But most of us are we get pulled away during the daytime. We go into meetings and other stuff. Would it make sense, or what are your thoughts on putting conditional orders? So let's say it actually went above 319, you confirmed, and now tomorrow you want to buy it, but you may not be around your computer. So what are your thoughts on putting some conditional orders that, hey, if the price goes above this, buy me 10 shares at this price, buy me another 20 at this price, buy me 30 at this price, like that. Do you do that? Do you see any merits in doing that?
I don't do it, honestly.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a blind trading, right?
Okay.
I would rather, if I want to, let's say I want to day trade tomorrow, Monday, I take a day off and I want to day trade tomorrow, Monday,
okay,
right? I will look at my chart first. I won't look at order and say, hey, if it touches 319.45, then buy it, and then otherwise don't buy it, right? I don't do that actually. I have to clearly see. So again, so how many technical indicators so far we have seen? One is candlestick. Second is the support and resistance level, and volume. We saw volume also, right? So when you are putting your chart together, at least you should have at least these three things in front of you, and your support and resistance levels, right? Easy way to get your support. This is kind of what I see as a support and resistance level, right? This is I drew that this is support level or this is a resistance level. But there are software which can give you upfront what is the support and resistance level for SPY for Monday or Tuesday. Monday, sorry, not Tuesday, Monday, right? Which is something called barchart.com. If you go to barchart.com, barchart will tell you that the support level 1, resistance level 1, or support level, right? The barchart will tell you that. The third thing is Thinkorswim has something called pivot points. I would say every trader or investor who has pivot point, Thinkorswim platform should add pivot points into their chart, because pivot points is nothing but the support and resistance levels. When you add this and in your study, it's pretty simple. You edit your study, add pivot points. It will add this 4-5 lines, right? This line called pivot line. The green 1 and green 2 is your support 1 and support 2. Red 1 is resistance 1 and resistance 2. You can add 3 actually. When I took the screenshot, it had only 2 actually, but you can add 1 more resistance level. So if you look at, this is the Octa chart, right? The market opened and it started going down. The price was 222 around here, right? 222. And 216.45 was a pivot point. So that your pivot point will act as a support, and perfectly it bounced from this pivot point and went up to 224, which is $8 gap in a day. That's huge for a day trader, right? Something like this. I will talk about what is the yellow line later on, but if you look at clearly, the stock bounced from here to here, and it started slowing down here because this is the resistance line, 225.55, right? So instead of calculating the support and resistance level by yourself, you can look at either bar chart or look at the Thinkorswim pivot points and say, you know what, I'm looking at my 5-minute chart right now, and I want to start trading. I would not recommend to say buy here somewhere in the middle or somewhere in the middle. Wait for the bounce off of any of this line. If a market is in a downtrend and it started going down, I will say wait for this break, and is it touching the second support level? Yes. Then see if it is breaking that or is turning back from here. That's the perfect time you can think about entering into the trade. I think a couple of folks in the group, I shared a couple of trades perfectly looking at this pivot points in past, right?
Sunny, just to add a point, there is no guarantee that it is going to get that support, but the probability of bouncing there, if you see the price action that near the pink line, you see the price action, like, okay, it is finding a support, and you see candle, like a bounce candle there, then that is like it is finding support basically. But yeah, there is no guarantee. It's all probabilities, even when we use all these technical indicators. So you are just adding more probabilities. So
yes. So I think I said it, initially also, that there is no guarantee. It's all about direction. The stock charting will give you the direction, right? And the direction you can see is, yes, the direction is up direction or a down direction, right? So when you look at candlestick, I have a support level, I have volume also here, right? So when you look at the volume, say, hey, when the volume started turning from red to green also, I can decide, hey, should I go into the trade or not, right? So there are few things which you should be adding in your chart before you think about entering into the trade or not. Adding only one indicator in your chart is not enough. adding more than 4-5 indicator is way out of the line, I would say, right? Have a very few indicators in your chart to determine whether you want to go long or short, and chart should tell you that, right? So this is the end of the support and resistance level topic, which I wanted to cover. A very important and very critical topic, and for your either day trading or a long-term trading. So let's go back to live chart, and let's say if I want to draw something 1 year. Anyone has a preference for any stock which I pick for support and resistance level?
Roku, because I
Can
think probably
Okay. All right. So let's look at Roku.
Roku is brother of Tesla. So
Roku 1 week, 1 year. All right. So this is my 1 day, 1 year chart, right? And as you said, Roku is your brother of Tesla, and that is true, right? Because let's draw the trend line clearly, right? How the trend is. Okay, it's perfectly after this downtrend, right? So this was the downtrend. This was a downtrend. Little here, right? Bose, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
good.
So this was a trend we saw that the stock started going down from here, and it was in this nice channel, right? It was perfectly in this channel, I would say, right? It was going in this direction. You saw that, and then it started going up and going down, and then it started forming the trend in this direction, right? And if I draw one more line, sorry. If I draw from here again, it started showing a trend again, and it started creating a different channel, right? This is a different channel it started creating now. And if I draw one more line from the middle somewhere, right? So Roku is I think I shared the levels of Roku in the group that if it breaks 139, it will touch 150. 150 was a resistance, and it didn't touch 150 on Thursday. 160 was the next level. It came down perfectly from touching 159.63. I think it didn't go for 160. Yeah, so 159.73 was and it came down, right, and closed at 153.07. So now let's look at Monday. Where is it going to open? Is it going to open at 153.07, or is it going to open at half of the candle? If I say half of the candle is here, right? Because I'm looking at the Heiken Ashi right now. Half of the candle is 150.54. So if you look at the stock opens Monday at 150.54 and started going down, then think about it going down till what here? Probably 143 somewhere, the middle of this candle, because that's the Heiken Ashi logic I'm using right now. So 143, but it opened, let's say it opens here at 150, 54 and started going up, then it has potential to cross, because this is the resistance that I created yesterday on Friday, right? It is 153, 73 or 65 something. This was resistance. So watch for that resistance on Monday for the break of 160. Okay. Is that answer your question?
It does. The only question is you picked the middle of, I mean, when when you pick the middle of the candle, you just pick. You don't consider the wick, length of the wick, is it?
No, I didn't consider the length of the wick, but I consider the length of the candles only. So let's see if market opens. I think I said 153. The middle of the candle around 150, 74 or 75 something, right? Again, if it opens at that price, but it opens probably, let's say, above the close price. 153.18 was a close, and let's say it opens at 156, then it will definitely going to push for above 160, trying to break that resistance. And if break 160, the next level is, I said around 180, I think, 180, 185. So we need to see how the SPY is forming on Monday, okay? All right, let me go back to here. So I think everybody understand the concept of support and resistance level, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Add the pivot points in your chart. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Sunny. Actually, do you do any relation with SPX when the stock is going up or down? Like say if the SPX is going down or
you have
SPX
to always, let's say Apple. I think Apple is in S&P 500 also and Dow Jones also, right? In both the
Nasdaq and
Nasdaq and Dow Jones, right? So yes, there is always a correlation between your stock and your index, right? So if index is going down, it's not true all the time, because I think on Friday everything was going down, even Nasdaq was going down, but the Roku was going up, right? But overall, if you see the trend, it's always almost following your index also. So if you are watching Apple as your trade, and you look at Nasdaq and Dow Jones also, how are they forming, right? Usually if index is going down, the stock is going down too, unless a situation like Roku and Tesla, it completely, Roku was up about 10% and Tesla was up by $150 on Friday.
Sunny, can I add something to Ganesh's question?
Sure.
Yeah, Ganesh, so you are right on majority of the stocks, but some stocks like Zoom, Tesla and Roku and Netflix, those stocks, they most of the times recently they don't care about the total market direction. Okay, but the market direction is going to help them even further. Like if market is going to go up, if a uptrend stock is going to move even higher. If you see some stocks on a red day, you see some stocks are consolidating or not, they are not going down much as market, right? So they are like leaders. So when the market is going to go up next day or whenever it is, those stocks are the ones which are going to go or rally much faster than the other stocks. To answer your question, it's based on the stock. If it is Tesla, it doesn't matter. I mean, if the market 5 points down or 5% down, Tesla can still go up like 100 points. But most of the leaders are there, like Apple, Microsoft. They basically, if Apple and Microsoft are going, index will go up basically. So because they are the key, they have the majority of the portion in that in that index. So I don't know if I answered. I just wanted to add that it based on the stock, but most stocks, yes, it goes in the direction of the market. I see it in the other way. I see it in the other way, like the leaders in that index, wherever they are going, the index will basically go because it consists of those leaders.
Okay, all right. I think that's a very good explanation, Bose. I think, right? Other day we saw when Boeing went down by $15, the Dow Jones was like impacted around 60 or 70 points, right? Or 100 points. That's what we saw because Boeing is a very heavy part of Dow Jones. Okay, coming back to the presentation, there are two different concepts I think everybody understands, but let me cover that how it really matters when you are trading or you are investing, right? Volume is nothing but the number of shares or shares bought and sold as a specific time frame, whether it's it's a 3-minute chart level or 5-minute or 1 day or 1 year, right? So the volume plays a major role in a price movement, right? Also, there is something called float. If I want to day trade, simply day trade, right? I will not pick up stock which has a higher float. What is float? Is number of shares available for trading in the market, right? Higher the float, lower the price movement, and vice versa. So if you look at the AT&T for day trading, AT&T probably has a 60-70 million volume in a day, but price movement is probably merely around 50 or 60 cents. However, if you pick a stock like a low float stock like Okta and Ultrix, and if it has a 2 or 3 million volume, the stock jumps around $4 or $5 very easily, right? So so many times people ask me, hey, why my stock is not moving so much even though market is 3% up today? I will ask them, hey, check your float. What is the float? And someone will come and say, hey, I'm trading Nokia. Nokia has around 8 billion shares float actually, right? So if 8 billion shares available to trade, and if the trading volume is around 15-20 million, it's a peanut volume actually. So you have to make sure that if you're for your day trading, pick a stock which is highly traded in terms of volume and low float. Right? If you look at the float of Amazon is around 450, I think, 450 million. Same thing for Tesla is around less than 200 million. Okta is 100. Ultrix is 80 millions. So if you pick the low float stocks for day trading, it gives you quick result. It has a very fast movement up or down. So make sure that you pick if you're simply focusing on day trading, pick a stock which has a low float and a little bit better day trading volume, right? Any question here?
So Sunny, where do we see this float information?
So Yahoo Finance is, I think it's just if people may not have Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim has a in that trading app, you can clearly see a float over there. But if you don't have a Thinkorswim, then go to Yahoo Finance, and Yahoo Finance in statistics, you can see that float is available, right? This is for Amazon I picked, and around 95 million float it has.
So the float is shares outstanding is called float.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think there are two different things actually: shares outstanding or a float. But as of now, if I say looking at the float, that number of shares are available to trade in the market right now. Right. Okay, moving averages. Let me quickly jump into this topic. It's a very simple topic again. So when you look at, you guys are now should be familiar with the candlestick chart, right? Hopefully, and its movement. So let's talk about the concept called moving average. What is the moving average? It's nothing but the price action, right? And it draws a line in your chart. When you say when you start seeing the candlestick, so it start drawing the line along with the candlestick. So there are three different level of kinds of moving averages. One is called SMA, which is simple moving average, which is used for longer period of trading or investing. I'm saying investing because SMA plays a bigger role. Looking at the 1 year chart and determine, hey, where my trend is. Exponential moving average, which is the fast indicator, which is highly used for day trading. I'll show you we don't need to go into technicality of EM and SMA, but it draws the trend line in your chart. VWAP, which is nothing but the volume weighted average price. This is simply for day trading, right? It exists only intraday, not even a 1 day period. It exists during intraday only if you're drawing a minutes chart or hour chart, but not a day. So VWAP is a very popular popular indicator which traders use. and I'll show you that how traders are using VWAP for their trading. So I have talked to a few day traders. They use only VWAP, nothing else in their chart for trading. And that's amazing how they use VWAP for their day trading. So there are 3 different kinds of moving average: SMA, EMA, and VWAP. I would say all 3 has a different calculation. We don't need to go into deep into the calculation, but let me just simply explain what that SMA is. So what is SMA? So let's say pick a stock, which is a day 1, the stock price is 10, day 2 12, and day 5 16, right? So what's the average? So average is 12.8. So that's how SMA simple moving average calculation works. That it look at the last, if I say SMA of 5 day, so 5-day price movement divided by 5, right? So that's your average, and that's how it draws the line in your chart. When you look at the EMA has a complete different calculation. SMA is pretty simple, right? 10 plus 12 plus 12 plus 14 plus 16 divided by 5, and gives you the average of 12.8. But EMA calculation is completely different and it's boring, and we do. But the difference between EMA and SMA is a lagging indicator and EMA is a fast indicator. We look at in the chart how it looks like in the chart. So let's look at this, right? So I took a QQQ chart and I added SMA 9-day, 9-period line. So as soon as you add that indicator called moving average with the 9-day period, it draws that line in your chart, right? And SMA is that line acts as a support and resistance level, right? So if you clearly see that after it broke that, this is 9-day line. So after it breaking the 9-day line, the stock started going down actually. And when stock started going up, right, then start following as a support level. So this is your resistance level, and this is your support level. So many traders use SMA line in their chart to either buy or sell. So as soon as the stock price going above the SMA line, people start buying their stocks. Say, hey, I want to buy now because now the downtrend is over, right? So this is how SMA line is drawn. And then EMA 9-day period, right? So you won't see much difference if I say SMA 9 and EMA 9. It almost looks identical. But when you look at the live market with EMA 9 period, that your 9-period line draws faster than the SMA 9 period. And if you look at combined together, look at this, right? You won't see much difference. You won't see much difference. But when you are looking at the live chart, you will see that the EMA acts faster as compared to the SMA 9 line, right? So let me go back to chart quickly so everyone can understand.
Sunny, yeah. But you mentioned live chart, but both the chart that you showed are 1-day charts, right?
Yes. Yes.
So in the 1-day chart, I mean, which one would you recommend? Even from a long-term standpoint, I know you mentioned EMA is for day trading, but if you're looking at 1-day chart, I mean, how do I really get the merit?
Okay, so let me clarify one thing which I didn't mention actually. When I say 9-day period, right? So when you look at the daily chart, yes, 9-day, let's say July 12th, July 14th, July 13th, 14th, 15th, and 9-day period. But when you look at the daily chart, it's about the last 9 candles, right? So any calculation happens is based upon the last 9 candles, and that's how the line draws. You got it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's based on whatever time frame you are. It yes. Takes the last 9 candles. So even if it is a 1-minute chart or 3 minutes chart, last 9 candles, it performs the calculation, average or whatever it is, and then draws the line.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. This is I kind of a pick 9 and 21. In your day trading, people uses 9 and 21 period. So this is how they read actually. I mentioned as a death cross. What does it mean? That 9-day line going below 21-day line, that's your sell signal basically. When you look at the chart with the lines, yes, I want to sell when I want to continue in the trend when the stock price is above the 9-day EMA or SMA, but I will sell as soon as it crosses below the 21-day EMA. So you can see the clear transition and this conjunction called death cross. I think Bose was mentioning the other day that SPX is heading for the golden cross. So what is golden cross? When the shorter period line going above the higher day period, that is the golden cross, right? Here I see that 9-day EMA line is going above the 21 days. So that's your buy signal actually. Okay. And you can if I want to say, hey, after this long downtrend, so stock price was 260-250 and it came down to 250-750, and then if you see here it stopped here. This kind of created a support level here, right? Either you can jump in here or you can say, hey, you know what, let me wait for golden cross to happen before I jump into the trade, right? And then you can jump in and say, hey, I want to buy here. Even the stock went up and coming down is bouncing from this line, if you can clearly see, right? So 9-day EMA line is acting as a support level. Even though it broke down, then it's coming back up, right? But if you see this red candle, that's when you go out basically. So people buy and sell stocks looking at death cross and golden cross. It's a very simple concept. If I go back to the charting right here, and let's say 5-minute chart, I want to look at the 5-minute chart. How do I add that indicator? So you can see indicator here and say, I want to add moving average, right? So let's say I added one moving average here and exponential moving average. So you will see moving exponential. So I added two different line. So let's change this to 9. You can see the length of 9 period, and style I always pick green for lower period, right? And for 21, let's change to 21 and style as a red, because that's how the traders use the color coding actually, right? So now I think I should delete this. Right. So if you look at the trend wise in this one, it was kind of a consolidation here on 9-day and 21-day, but after here it clearly jumped above 9-day and started going up. So if you look at the price here is 136.80 and it went until 145, which is $7, which is a huge gain. If someone is day trading with let's say 500,000 shares, it's kind of a $6,000-7,000 gain if you patiently wait for the trend to change and entered here at 136.77, wait for 145. That's an amazing money, right, guys? Even though it broke here and then came back up and started following again that moving average line. So I have seen people using only this two indicator. 9-day EMA and 9 SMA and 21 EMA, or whatever combination you will take, right? And you can still continue in the trend until it breaks that death cross happened actually here. And if you see here, you didn't see any death cross here. It's still following nicely above the 21 period, right? And it broke here only. So it broke here, and you can see that two red big candles, right? So that's your selling indicator. You can think about getting out here. Any question, guy? I wanted to make sure that everyone understand how these lines are drawn into your chart.
Hey, Sunny and Bose, and this is a question for either of you. So, can we write, or are there scripts available either in TOS or elsewhere which can tell me that, hey, these are the stocks which experienced a death cross today, or these are the stocks which experienced a golden cross today.
Yes. See, we both said yes at the same time. Both.
Boss, I'll take it offline, but that'll be a good thing to add, I think, because this is good when you're following a stock. But again, remember, most of us don't have time. We are busy in our work.
Hey, don't take it offline, man. Share it with everyone.
Oh, okay. Then please share the screen. I mean, where is that script? You can just give us where to get that script from, and people can then load it and go forward.
I think Sunny did smart thing. He didn't open toss. Otherwise, this session would not have happened. So he took all screenshots. So because
Yes.
toss it will take all the resources of your system if you open it.
Okay.
So
Yes.
so we can. I might try to record it, or Sunny might, and we will share that video.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of a combination of EMA 9 and 21 period. You can see the death cross here. This is QQQ and golden cross happened, right? And it happened here for shorter periods. Only for shorter period, you see the death cross here again. But then it saw the golden cross again. It went up from 261 to 264, which is pretty good movement, right? This is what I wanted to show you. This one chart where QQQ after the big downtrend, how the golden cross happened, right? So I think on 19th May or 20th May, the golden cross happened on Nasdaq. So if you look at the golden cross here, the price probably, what was the price here? Around 220, right? If you just simply picked up the stock based on the golden cross, which is stock already reversed though, but based on the golden cross, and if you went into 220, less than 220, probably 215 here, right? 215 when the golden cross happened from 215 to 264, you can clearly see that uptrend. It's a huge gain of $50, guys, right? It's amazing, right? How if you look, this is by the way 1 year chart. I look at 1 year one day 1 year chart based on a golden cross. And when I use a different period though, I use 50, 200 and 100 SMA here. When you look at the 1 year chart, I always pick SMA. It's a simple moving average instead of exponential moving average. So it clearly golden cross happened, and it gave you $50 uptrend within how many, probably a month, right? So it's that how powerful golden cross is. And if you open the CNBC something, people are right now talking about the SPX golden cross happening soon, right? Both correct? SPX is still not yet there for golden cross.
SPX I didn't know, but SPY already happened on Thursday.
Okay, SPY already happened. So let's look at that here. SPY, if you say SPY.
But I was checking 50 and 200 SMAs.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? That's what I draw here, the golden cross, 50 and 200 SMA crossover, right? So if you say SPY 1 day and 1 year chart, right? It hung. Let me refresh this page. Okay. SPY. And quickly add moving average 3 times, click. It gives you that.
So, boss, while we are drawing this, so let's assume that unless there is any some sort of catastrophic event like too many, I think no one cares about Corona anymore, but let's say something else happens that changes the trend. If that does not happen, then SPY is definitely going towards 3,400 or whatever that next resistance is in the next month or so. Is that what you're saying?
I don't
See,
know.
it's all. See, when we talk about SMAs, Sunny clearly told like he's not going into the formula, but basically it's taking our last 20 or 50 or 200 candles. So even a 1 day drop or 1 day spike is not going to impact it much, because it is going to take into a formula of like last 200 candles or last 50 candles. So yes, I mean, you are right. There is one way like we can blindly buy and hold, and also even when these technical indicators are also giving some hints, it will give us more confidence. That's how I see it.
Yes. I don't know, Spy. This investing.com is not showing the golden cross happening right now.
I sent, yeah, I don't know. Toss, I sent a screenshot also.
Yeah, but that's
day. You are in 15 minutes.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, okay, cool.
1 day. Cool. Yeah, so it's almost happening. It happened. It happened. Golden cross happened. Now, so we are looking at the SPY. Golden cross is happening. If we saw the chart here, actually, $50 movement. What do you guys think that the SPY will happen to SPY?
Man, we're going to 4,000.
There you go.
And Trump would absolutely ensure that.
No, we need to continue watching 323 before we even think about 4,000. So let's look at if it is breaking 323 or not yet, right? So that's a very big resistance, I would say, 323 before we think about uptrend in SPY or SPX.
So Sunny, what you're saying is, even though golden cross happened,
right,
for us to enter into that trade, we would be wise if we wait until that 323 resistance is also broken. Is
exactly? That's exactly I want to say.
Okay.
Let's wait for that. Let's wait for that break. Okay. Again, this is a debatable thing. It's either you are in a long-term trade, or you want to do short-term. Depending upon that, you can decide.
Okay.
So you can still enter and exit, right? Before 323, right? If you're a short term.
Yes, you can.
Suresh.
Or you can, if you bought something below 323 and decide, hey, let me wait till the break of 323 before I decide to sell.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah. Suresh, if you look at the current chart, what Sunny is sharing, see the golden cross happened on this QQQ chart around 215, right?
Yeah.
But the reversion happened even well before.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's all risk reward. I mean, technically, if we are there are people who just follow their principles, then definitely they'll wait for that golden cross, and the next resistance is at 323. And if they will add more to the existing position if it breaks it. So I know a lot of people who just buy it based on this indicator, and then they will watch closely at 323 level. If it breaks, they'll sell it. If it breaks down, if it comes down, they're going to sell it, take profits, or they are going to add to the existing position.
Yeah.
If it goes up.
Since we are so close to 323, and considering many of us feel that market is higher, I think, Sunny, what you're saying makes perfect sense. Big deal, wait for 5 more points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be more.
Probably Monday. Monday, Suresh. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let me finish this thought on this chart actually, where people mostly have a hard time when to sell actually, right? I think most people has a hard time selling their stock if they are holding long term. So if you look at this, it's Nasdaq is completely in an uptrend until here. When I tell people that if some comes to me and say, hey Sunil, when do I sell my stocks, right? I always guide people, look, continue watching 50-day simple day moving average. I keep telling people that when stock or index going below 50 SMA, that is your alarming thing actually, right? To see that market will go down. If you look at here, look at the candles perspective. Now we are combining candles with volume and the SMA line. This is kind of giving you clear indication that market is going down, guys, right? Look at all the candle sizes here. It's not except this candle and this one. everything is small candles when the stock, when QQQ was in the uptrend. But when it started going down, see the size of the candle. It perfectly bounced from 50-day SMA here. You see that the wick is a bounce here, but next day again it closed below 50 SMA. So that's your alarm basically. Say, you know what, when index is breaking 50 SMA, you started thinking about, should I exit or not now? And again, if you see yellow line is your 100 SMA and it bounced from a little bit, then break. That's your second confirmation that it's time to get out of this market. This happens when this won't happen very frequently, but whenever you see that this chart is going up and this green is your 50 SMA, continue in the trend, continue in your long-term holding until it follows the 50-day moving average. So if you see, there is no history here, no forward movement, because it's all history. But if you look at this 50-day moving average reverse from here, golden cross happened, candlestick started showing the uptrend. Continue in the trend until you see the 50-day moving average going, stock prices move above the 50-day moving average. The day it started showing the sign that it may break 50-day moving average, it's your time to get out of the market. You can time it. I'm telling you, a lot of people will tell you that, hey, you never time the market. I'm telling you, I'm confidently telling you right now, guys, that you can time the market if you follow this trend. 50-day moving average is your decision point where you can decide, hey, I want to stay in the stock market or not. Look at the volume here, the red volume. After so many days of green bars, you see it's so huge. This is your perfect indication, actually, right? I would say, look at this. First, the red candle came, then second and third, and the break of 50-day moving average.
Yeah, it's very clear now. Yeah.
Just to add, Sunny, I mean, it can come and touch that 50 SMA as the support, because that is going to be the first support. Yes. So it can touch and bounce. So, I mean, just wait for the confirmation closing below that.
Yes.
Because I see a lot of scenarios where it bounces. I mean, not on a daily chart, but in most of the other time frames, it comes and it bounces right off that 50-day. I mean, if we are trying to just try to see if it closes below, touching is not really breaking off it, basically, just to add it.
Yes, exactly. And you see the bounce here. You see the wick, so the green whole filled candle and the wick, right? So it might have happened that it bounced nicely and then went up from here, right? But if you see that it's breaking next day and closed below 50-day, now you need to wait for one more day and say, you know what, let me watch now, or put a stop loss now.
Yes.
Put a stop loss with my stocks which I'm holding, and then if my stop loss hits, I'm fine, and it's went down. So March kind of give you clear indication, actually. Bose and I were discussing, and Bose and I literally put a message in the group that the guys, be careful now, right? And we both not just only mentioned in the group, and I remember we went into cash also.
So in hindsight, Sunny, let's say if another March were to happen, we potentially, if we had QQQ or QQQ-like stocks, this chart gave us a clear signal that we could have sold it at around 220 the day, because it closed that 1, 2, 3, third candle closed below 50-day moving average. Of course, you wouldn't know the candle until the day ended, so you couldn't have sold that day. But next day, looking at the trend, we had an opportunity to get out around a price of 220 plus minus a few cents here and there. Right. And that would have eliminated the journey down to 170 in the next 2-3 weeks, right?
Yes.
That's almost 30% of the portfolio. 50-point drop we could have avoided just by this simple rule, right?
Yes. And even if you are not into stock charting or anything, just make sure that if you are holding Nasdaq stocks, keep this chart in front of you all the time, or draw the chart once in a while and say, hey, where the Nasdaq is going,
Okay.
right? So you can clearly see the trend. Also, one more thing, Bob, I want to add. This is last point, and let me move next topic. If you go back and look at the history, let's say you saw the downtrend in 2018, this formation you will see over there too. Almost similar formation, that stock came down, bounce off of 100 SMA, and then came down. Even if you get out here, which is around 209 or 207,
yeah,
until 160 it came down.
Yeah.
Let's say you didn't get out here somewhere, but you get out here.
Yeah.
50-day break of 50-day moving average, 100-day is a confirmation basically, right? That it's going down now. And look at the size of the candle; it's huge.
Yeah, those were the days when Dow was going down like 1,000 points, 2,000 points in a day, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So it's 352. Are you continuing today, or I'm just from perspective?
I don't know if people wants to stay and has a patience to continue. I can continue. Not an issue.
Hey, Sunny. One question about timing. You said that we should sell, or like, I mean, it's a good indicator when it breaches 50-day SMA. But like, when would you get back to the trade? So what is the indicator that you're looking to get back?
Okay, I will cover that too. I'll cover that so soon. Okay.
Oh.
There are a couple of more indicators that you need to add to your chart, which is called RSI and MACD. And MACD will give you clear indication that the stock chart is reversing. Even though there is no MACD or reversal, you can see if you draw the trend line, just draw the trend line, right?
Sunny, can I add one more point before we change the topic?
Sure.
Yeah. So this 50-day moving average and and selling out, this is in my opinion, and I'm kind of sharing it with everybody, but I'm primarily telling myself, it's very easy to say it now, but when you were on that day, whenever this hit that 50-day SMA, and your portfolio is already down from 210 to 250 to 210, that's 30 point, you're already about 15% down. It is one of the hardest psychological actions to take. None of us want to take a loss because we do not want to admit that we were wrong or market has gone against us. We are all very optimistic, hopeful people, etc. Whatever be the reason, following up on this advice is very difficult. At least personally, that's what I've found. Sunny and Bose, you guys said that you guys actually did go into cash. If you want to talk a little bit about the psychology part, that'll be very helpful.
Yeah. I think I was last session talking about psychology also, so we can. Right. Okay. Let me quickly on this one. Sorry, go ahead.
Sunny, like from a time check perspective, you are only probably halfway through what you wanted to cover. Is that correct?
Yes, it's only halfway through.
Okay. So then I think that definitely I would leave it to you to come to a logical end. I think we need one more session because, I don't think, we can go for a 3.5 or 4 hour session, right? People will probably, I don't know, maybe brains will saturate. So
I think
that's
so.
my
Let's finish the support thing and then we can end.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. So probably it's a couple of more slides.
Right.
So,
sure.
Okay. This is as a 200 SMA as a support level. So if you look at, this is NVIDIA, which is one of my favorite stock to hold. It had a resistance of 315, right? And it perfectly bounced off of 200 SMA. The way it bounced off of 50 here, if you see the 50 and then it came down, but it nicely bounced off of 200 SMA also. So this SMA lines perfectly act as a support level too. If you don't have the pivot lines, everything in your chart, when you're looking at the one year chart, it perfectly bounced. And if you might have seen that it bounced off 200 SMA, and this green candle is a kind of a confirmation of a reversal trend. If you went to here, probably is 225 is a price when you went into an NVIDIA, and it completely going up in the direction, breaking above 100 SMA, 50 SMA, and closes 421, which is like around 190 plus dollar gain with from April till July. It's huge. But if you notice, there is no golden cross or death cross happen here. So you cannot always have death cross and golden cross. That's what I wanted to show you here in this chart. But it bounced off of 200 SMA and perfectly went into the different direction. So if you are drawing a trend line, you can draw the trend line here and say, hey, let me see when the trend changes, and bam, you see the trend change. If you guys know a guy named called Tim Sykes. Now, a guy named called Tim Sykes. He is a penny stock trader, millionaire, right? Yeah. Okay. I attended his one webinar, and he kept mentioning about one observation in a chart. It's they call J hook, right? So when you look at the hook, so always wait, if a stock in long downtrend, wait for the hook pattern, he said, right? So if you look at, I draw a J, and then here, that's your hook basically. So wait for the hook, but hook happened here also. If you see, if I draw something here, right? The hook happened here too. So, but it is right. But if the stock is in long downtrend, like 315 to 200, is a $115 downtrend, and then it started creating a hook pattern. So I kind of like that hook pattern. I started watching into my daily chart or a long-term chart also, that hey, is it creating a hook basically? And hook is so simple, right? So simple. It's a visual representation of how the stock chart is drawn. Okay. This is a perfect example where the NVIDIA bounce off of 200 SMA.
Annie, you were distracted when I think me or Suresh was talking. Like you were trying to draw a trend line on the SPX chart during March. I mean, it would have, I mean, even taking out all the combinations, a simple trend line.
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to even look at it. As soon as it broke the trend line upside, then we would have entered, irrespective of all the lines.
So let's draw it, and we can end the session then, right? Okay. Okay, what do you want me to draw? SPY. Let's keep
SPY. In the we can draw it a trend line from March top to March low.
Right. Okay, let's draw the trend line, which clearly gives you idea, right?
Without any SMS, anything, it will still tell us like maybe it's the best place to enter, or that gives us some reversal thing. It might not be complete V shape, but at least a bounce. So
okay, let's draw this. I would go for, this was a very weird trend though. If I want to draw. Right?
This channel looks okay. So it would have gone to 170 also, as a lot of channels and CNBC told. But as soon as it broke that trend line, I mean, that's where we. And guys, as Sunny is going to draw this, I just wanted to add. See, these channels Sunny is drawing with his bare, like he's just drawing it, right? But there are some tools even in TOS, if I'm not wrong, where these channels we can draw it, and they use regression channels. So they are perfectly. It's not like, hey, if Sunny draws it, it will be like that. If I draw it, it might be different, right? So, but as soon as you draw a channel, you have some options to pick. One of them is like regression channel, and there are
Yeah.
3 or 4 famous or popular types of channels, which will take some statistical formulas to draw them basically.
Mhm.
So
this is simply if any novice wants to draw the trend line, right? They can pick up the trend line this way and say, hey, you know what? From here, what I do actually, I pick the bottom of the candle and draw the line actually. So now when it started going up, it started going in this direction actually, right? And then I see the consolidation here. It created a kind of a resistance here. But if I draw one more line and say, hey, you know what, let me think about support also here. So it kind of created your trend line here now. See this, right? If we draw this, the stock would have completely gone into this channel also. This channel is completely broken and now started trading here. So one down here, went up, then hit the resistance, came down, and then it's couple of days and then breakout happens and went up and then came down. See, and now it's creating a different channel. So it's again, how will you look at your stock trend actually, right? This is SPY, and you can further create this also if you want to, right? Those, what happened? Sorry, everything is gone.
Sunny, I think you left SPY and went to GBP.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why that happened. Yeah.
it's weekly, yeah, or daily.
Yeah. So now SPY is kind of going in this.
I think right now
And
it's sideways. Yeah.
if you it's going in a sideways actually, right?
It is consolidation.
Right, and you see here it's created a hammer, and I don't know what this kind of chart candlestick is. It's just a line here.
It's not that formed, I guess. It's 13th.
Yeah. So I said 323, right?
Yeah.
So 320, 323, 324. That's where you need to wait to break now, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. But even here, see the part that I like, Sunny, it's so clear now in hindsight, and that's always, I mean, even in this consolidation, one could potentially make some money.
Yes.
When it hit 32 or 320 or whatever, sell it, buy it back again. I mean, potentially with the right stop losses and all, you could still make some money.
Yes, you can. So 297, I'm saying 297 is one area you need to everyone needs to watch.
Yeah.
297 and 323.
Yeah. Very tight channel though. 297,
yeah.
323. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 26 points wide.
Yeah.
Less than 8%. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me see what is left in support level. This is one simple chart. I wanted to show you difference between candlestick and Heiken Ashi. You can see that clear. So much noise here, right? Yeah. So much noise. But when you look at the candlestick, Heiken Ashi is clear downtrend, clear transition of red from green, right? So that's why I like Heiken Ashi now more and more over normal candlestick charts. Okay. Yeah. I think this is where we can end because next is MACD, and MACD is again a very good concept for everyone to learn. I use MACD in my daily chart as well as 1 year chart also. And MACD will give you a very good clear indication of the reverse trend when you combine with candlestick pattern and moving average lines. MACD is pretty good indicator.
So Sunny, taking this chart, US 500, in this Hackenex, you saw in April there are 3 red sell-offs, right? But they are still holding there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do you enter? There is similar one in the March. I mean,
Here,
there's
this
a
one,
positive
this
one,
3.
yeah, positive one. But
This
here,
3.
you have a positive ones at the end of March. But how do we decide to enter? Do we need to see something like a pullback to enter?
Yeah. Yes. So when you combine with MACD will give you the clear reversal actually.
Okay.
So that's why you can see that after so many days of downtrend, you see 3 good days of green days. You might be thinking, this is reversal, but if you combine here with MACD gives you the clear signal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I add something, Sunny?
Sure.
Yeah. So to answer your question, there is a clear difference between the 3 candles back in May or March and right now. They are below the SMAs.
Yeah.
These are above the SMAs. So as long as we have those SMA support, we don't have to be too much worried. Yes, there might be red days, but unless it breaks one of those like SMA 50 or something, I don't think those pullbacks are viable in my view. And again, it's my view.
See, I mean, you can talk about it when it is in oversold position. Maybe you can enter it, but some people say, okay, it is below 50-day or below something.
Yes, it is. It is not right now. We are not below 50 SMA.
No, not right now. I mean,
yes, and also the oversold thing brought up by some of my friends. If you go back and add RSI and look at a daily chart in daily chart or weekly chart, if you look at RSI, it might stay above 70 RSI for weeks. It's not like it touches 70 and then we are going to crash. No,
Oh no.
Historically also you can go back and see it stayed there for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks also, or even more. Or
no,
even
I would say Nasdaq once in a oversold territory for almost a year actually. Yes, I'll show you the graph. I have a graph. Okay, but we can end here.
Or what are also
overbought condition.
Yeah.
Sorry, RSI above 70 for more than a year actually. Okay, so I think it's a different topic for people to understand. I think which I will cover next time.
Sunny, there are some questions if you have time to answer in the chat.
Let's go for questions. Yes, I'm fine with that.
In the chat, yeah, they can ask. Maybe they can unmute themselves and ask.
Yeah,
Shani,
yes,
Ashish, or somebody they're asking.
That will be better.
Hey,
I
Ashish.
was asking what other indicators you use besides MACD and EMA, SMA in the day trading?
Yeah, so let me share that with you guys. I don't go more than this candlestick, support resistance, moving average, MACD, volume and float, VWAP and RSI. That's it. Nothing else. I had quite
for both
few.
the trading. Sorry.
Yeah, both for even for trading. I will say when I go to goal setup, you will guys surprised to see what me and my brother-in-law. I think Nitin is also in the call. We came up with actually on this goal setup, and for that you don't need more than VWAP and 200 SMA. You will be surprised to see that when I share with you. I think I shared with Bose and Suresh, right, guys? And that is that. I back tested a lot. And then I started putting money against it, and my success ratio is almost 100% with that. I think Suresh is also doing it. I think Suresh is also already liking it when I shared him with him last 1 week. Yeah, boss, you were saying something.
Yeah, I can 100% say that. Yeah, that setup works 100% of the time. So I haven't because of the volume I couldn't trade, but whenever I take that. I always made 3%, 3% money, 3 to 5% of profits within 1-2 hours, right, Sunny? Yes. Maximum is 2 hours, maybe.
Yep. Provided that setup has to form.
Yeah. After we take the entry, I mean, that entry might not even happen, but if it happens, yes.
Would you
But
mind
let's
sharing
say
that,
right now,
please?
We can't jump to 8 point, I think, but
I
I
want to,
don't
I
know. I'm
want
just
to,
kidding.
I want to at least cover MACD, VWAP, and RSI before I jump into this one, because then it's not fair to jump into here. I know you guys want to see that, but I back tested for some time which we discovered, and I wouldn't say discovered, but we stumbled upon, I would say. And then we started checking, hey, how it is behaving with the VWAP and MACD and 200 SMA. And then we realized that it's giving you clear signal of buy and sell using that. And I had quite few screenshot with that strategy. And you guys can create the same chart in your mobile or in your desktop and start observing that and start trading based on that. That's a daily day trading setup though. This is not a long-term perspective.
So is there any way to export the setup you guys have and import it?
Yes.
I think that would be a good thing to do that and take one lesson separately on that topic so that everybody has the same setup, and then probably that would be much better to understand and follow initially paper-wise and then follow on your own then.
But you guys saw this, right? When I started putting the charts together, you guys saw how easy it is to add candlestick to Heiken-Ashi or moving averages and everything, right? It's that simple setup I'm talking about in this 8-1. You can do by yourself if I show you in a 5 minute.
Hey, Sunny, that'll be great. Sunny, by the way, we haven't told you already. The session has been brilliant, man. I mean, at least yeah, it's been great because we have been able to at least learn a shit ton of things.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead, boss. You were saying something.
I'm not the guy who was talking. Somebody else, I guess.
No, I'm saying a bar chart also has a lot of options. I have used that, but I have not used the Thinkorswim ever. So
yeah,
probably it might be a good idea too.
Sunny, so much suspense has been built up on the 8, so people will be asking for next session for sure.
Yeah. I think this session basically brought everyone up to speed. They might be knowing SMA and all those kind of things. So everyone is now comfortable at least talking and looking, and probably will start adding to their chat and all. And the next session, probably whenever it happens, you'll have some tough questions. Tough question in the sense, more practical questions.
Anjit, it is Bahubali Part 2 waiting, right? So
yeah.
And one more suggestion, Sunil, like, do you want to put some like major stocks with the resistance and support level in our group?
I think Suresh asked for the script which identifies stocks crossing the death cross and golden cross actually, and that would be a good thing to follow basically, because that is what you want to do, right?
Right, yeah.
I can share that, but just give me some time, like maybe 3 days.
Take
and one more thing, as Sunny mentioned several times in the chat, I don't know if everybody looked at it. Opening a TOS account, I mean, we are not endorsing or we are not going to get some commissions, but opening a TOS account is very simple. You don't have to have too much. I mean, just deposit $100 or even 50, I don't know. But I deposited, I don't even trade in TOS. I just check chats. I opened account, I deposited some money, and I always use it. So,
actually, we don't need to deposit anything. Yeah.
I think that's a good suggestion.
Hey, Sunny, I'd like to thank you for doing this session. I think you've taken a very complex topic. You are an excellent teacher, an excellent presenter. So I'm so glad that you did this for us. So really appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem, Suresh.
Yeah,
it was great, Sunny.
Thank
you. Thank you so much, Sunny, for your time and effort.
Thank you, Sunny. Very helpful.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Sunny, I'll follow up on the next slot whenever it's available.
Let's do it next Sunday if everybody is available, so we
Yeah.
can finish this
Yep.
in 2 sessions.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
true.
people
Totally.
won't forget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
before
sure.
everybody
Yeah.
forgets first 5 points. So
Yeah, I agree. Next Sunday would be better.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sunny.
I'll try to upload into the YouTube today, so that if anyone want to review before next Sunday, it would be useful.
Yeah. So there will be questions about upload. So you better get to it.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. I think next time probably I will pick up the pace actually, and we can go for the question and answer at the end, and let me finish everything, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, even today there was lots of question, but I think at least you were able to maintain the direction of it. So, which is good.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
One last
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.